Hello and welcome to this guide on how to present your research online. I'm Malin Kramer, and with my colleague Dan Whitley-Ellis, we will show you how you can record a presentation of your work in a way that is similar to a face-to-face conference. There are many ways to do this. We will show you one example and give you some general tips to keep in mind. In our example, we have two presenters who are in different places, and we'll explain how we do that too. We are using PowerPoint. It's quite simple to record a PowerPoint presentation with just a voiceover, but it would be quite tiring to watch a lot of those. So we encourage you to include video of you speaking too. That makes it more like a face-to-face event. The technique we are going to show you allows you to combine text, pictures, sound, video, all in one file to share with your audience. Hopefully, you will see how you can even add things you would not be able to do in a normal presentation, such as demonstrations and experiments. A file like this can be prepared in 7 easy steps. First, create your PowerPoint slides. Second, prepare your script. Then, record your video. Next, edit the video. Add the video into the PowerPoint. Then adjust the timings and annotations. And lastly, save the presentation video. The first step, creating your PowerPoint slides. That should be a familiar task. Build a presentation including animations just as you would for an offline presentation. Only this time, leave a dedicated space for you to put the video of you speaking on each slide. You can create a placeholder that you copy on each slide. For example, a rectangular shape or a picture. Adjust the size of the placeholder to roughly 5 by 9 centimeters. But keep in mind that depending on which camera you use, the format of your video will vary slightly. So plan ahead, taking that into account, including whether you have the video in landscape or portrait, and which way you will be looking in the video relative to the slide content. You can record a placeholder video or take a placeholder picture with the same camera you intend to use for the recording later to see exactly how your video will look like in place and relative to the slide content. When people are watching your presentation, they will be able to pause, skip forward and skip back, not something they can do to you normally. So have a think about the structure and content of your slides with that in mind. Perhaps you want to make it easier for people to skip to certain topics or pause to do something. When you're done creating your presentation slides, think carefully about what you want to say. Even if normally you don't take notes on that, for recording it is really helpful to write down what you're going to say. Trust me, when you see yourself on camera, all these breaks and in your speech will drive you crazy. You might also find it harder to talk to a camera lens than a room full of people. Most importantly, preparing a script allows you to make your presentation concise, to make the most of your time and keep people watching. And the great thing is, you can pop notes on your screen while filming yourself, like an auto cue. As long as the words are not too far from the camera lens and you are not too close to the camera, it will look totally natural. If you are wearing glasses like me, it's a good idea to change the page color of your notes to black, so your audience won't see a reflection. In Word you can do that under Design, Page Color. If you have room on your screen, you can also open your PowerPoint. That might help with the timing, since you want people to be able to absorb the slide content as well as listen to you. Okay, are you ready to record? Then start the camera of your choice and get going. Don't worry if you struggle with the first attempts. It's a bit strange talking to yourself, although in quarantine most of us might have started this habit. If you are not happy with the take, if your cat made a noise in the background, or if you realize your notes need some improvement, finish your sentence, start the paragraph again. Try not to stop speaking mid-sentence, no matter if you think the attempt was garbage. When editing the video later, you might still be able to use it. In between your slides or in between sentences, you can also make notes for later. For example, this goes on slide 2. Try to leave a gap between sentences too. Future you will thank you for it when editing. I know it can be very strange to talk to yourself or your computer, And it can happen that you are overcritical with your presentation or feel awkward listening to your own voice. A good way to make the presentation more natural and more interesting at the same time is to present it in the form of a dialogue with a colleague. Say I want my colleague Dan to present our research with me. I've prepared a presentation and the notes just as we did earlier, and then start a video call with him on Skype, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, or any other software.
Hello, Marlene.
Hello Dan.
We can now hear each other and we can both record the video and audio of ourselves locally using our own cameras. That way we're not going to run into problems with the internet connection. In recording, you can use your own webcam, your phone, or a digital camera. Anything that allows you to get the video file onto your computer afterwards.
I'm setting up my camera here. In the final video, we'll only use the recording of the current speaker.
This is great. I'm no longer talking to myself. Having someone to speak to might help even if you're the only one presenting. When we have recorded the whole presentation, what's the next step?
We need to trim the videos to get just the bits that we need. For this you can use the Windows 10 Photos application or some other software on your computer or your phone or your camera. And you can even do it directly in PowerPoint. This is how you trim the video in the Photos application, setting the start point and the end point. Now we need to trim the video to set the in point and the out point. And this is how you do the same job inside PowerPoint. Now we need to trim the video to set the in point and the out point.
You start editing the video of only one person. Make sure to leave breaks in the video where the other person is supposed to speak. We will show you a small example.
Marlene, do you think this example is understandable? I agree.
Then do the same for the video of the other person. Clear the material from all outtakes and break it into parts. And then sort the snippets into slides. Say the first two snippets of speaker 1 and the first snippet of speaker 2 go into the first slide. So remove all other material and bring the snippets in the correct order. Then save it as a new project that you call First Slide. Watch the video project First Slide before exporting it to MP4 format to make sure it includes all the correct parts and no outtakes. Best also save the project file in case you want to edit it again.
Marlene, do you think this example is understandable?
Yes, I think we are doing a great job here.
I agree. When you cut your videos for all your slides and export them to the MP4 format, it's time to include them in the PowerPoint. Replace your placeholder with the correct video on each slide. Make sure to change the playback setting to when clicked on. Then you can record the timings on your presentation as the last step. Click Slideshow, then Record Slideshow and hit the record button. Start your video by clicking on it and your animations by clicking anywhere else on the screen. You can also use the other tools provided, like highlighting text.
Of course, you can replay the recordings before exporting the project to see if you made any mistakes. If so, clear the recordings on a single slide using the X button and choose Clear Recordings on Current Slide. When you have recorded each of your slides, your project is ready to be exported. Use File, Export, Create a Video to create an MP4 file to share with the research community. Use recorded timings and narrations should be pre-selected for you. Make sure to set seconds spent on each slide to 0, so there will be no pause after your recordings. That was easy then, wasn't it?
Yes, the first time this whole process can be a bit time consuming, but presenting your research in this way is really rewarding. Your colleagues can watch your presentation in the comfort of their own home in their own time, and they're not forced to spend the whole day in an extensive online meeting with bad sound and bad picture. This way you're more likely to hold their attention, and it's certainly better than just sending out the slides on their own, because this way you also provide your explanation. And this format allows you to be really creative. It allows you to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do in a regular presentation. So think about how you can make your presentations interesting online.
I am curious to see what you can create with these new online tools. If you have any questions about this tutorial, feel free to send an email to m.kramer@napier.ac.uk. Thank you then, and see all of you soon. Bye!